What is up, everyone? 2 minutes in the box with Gordo. Today, we're going to be recapping last night's games and the updates on the standings, previewing tonight's games, and interesting rumors and potential free agency offseason signings. And we've got some impactful trade discussions and rumors. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. The first topic of the day, recapping last night's games. Boy, I'll say this, for the first time since 2008, the Buffalo Sabres had two players getting hat tricks in the same game. Very impressive, and what a touchdown that was. The Bruins announcer, Judge Shrite, was like, oh, the touchdown that Buffalo needed in KC. I mean, too soon, too soon. I gotta say, that Judge Schrott is another homer. He's just another homer, Boston. Boston Bruins, why do you keep finding all these homer broadcasters? Very unbiased. Very, very unbiased. Very homer of you. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous right there. Where happened to that last guy? Oh, wait, right. He had some problems and he was let go. And it was a good game for the Buffalo Sabres. 7 goals against the Boston Bruins, and they got two. JJ Peterka got two, got a hat trick, and Tage Thompson. What a night for those two right there. And I'll say that JJ's got 14 so far this season, and Tage Thompson, he's got 25. He has been playing lights out, and I'll tell you, Tage, he needs to be player defensively. He needs to play better defensively, and yeah. And the Bruins, though, they are still tied for third in the Atlantic standings with the Ottawa Senators, but theoretically, Boston's in the wild card and Ottawa is in third place. So we'll get to that. But what a night for Winnipeg Jets. 4-1. Obviously, they have been playing hot. And Yaroslav Slavowski got the goal for Montreal. That was a 1-0. And then all of a sudden, barraged by Shifley and Kyle O'Connor with two and Capari. And I'll say Winnipeg's still playing hot. Yeah, and my speculation is that do you think they need any more help to get them over the hump? And I'll say this, they could be a very heavy favorites in the Western Conference right now. And then we've got Chicago against Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. And it's obvious. It's just like the previous game we were talking about. The home team gets the 1-0 start, and then the visiting team gets four straight after that. Connor Bedard, what a sick goal from an impossible angle on Vasilevsky. Bam. That was one. That was the tying goal. And Slurgan, Donato, and Tiervainen got the others. And that was a upset victory for the Tampa Bay, for the Chicago Blackhawks, I should say. Yeah. What a interesting upset matchup right there, ladies and gentlemen. What an interesting upset right there. And speaking of Carolina Hurricanes against the New York Rangers, 4-0. That was a great game. What a impactful game. Taylor Hall gets an assist. Andrei Soshnikov, what a beauty of a shot. Very quick, like within a minute into the game. Another one from Andrei Soshnikov, and Mika Rantanen gets another helper right there. He's got 40 right there. And then Andrei Soshnikov gets another assist right there. Sebastian Aho, 17th of the season. Seth Jarvis, 19th goal. And Jordan Montour got 16. Easy win for the Carolina Hurricanes against the New York Rangers. I know the Rangers have been slumping, but they feel like they can make a comeback, but it is hard to say. Overall, the New York Rangers are still going to be outside looking in for a playoff spot. And speaking of neighborhoods, the Colorado Avalanche against the New York Islanders. Islanders looking for a fifth straight win on the category, and Anders Lee getting the first one. And then Tony DeAngelo, welcome back into the NHL. First point of the season as a secondary assist with Brock Nelson. Anders Lee gives a 1-0. And then Arturo Lincoln gets 21st of the year. Martin Nietzsche's former Hurricane, now with the Colorado Avalanche, 42 assists. McKinnon's got 59. And I'll tell you, that was a pretty interesting game. And Simon Holmstrom gets his 11th. Then JJ Jean Gabriel Pajot got his 14th assist of the season. Bo Horvat, he's lighting it up. Anders Lee, 17th. And Perinovich, the new guy from the St. Louis Blues, he gets his first point as an Islander and his fifth assist of the season. Jack Drury, the new member of the Colorado Avalanche, gets his fifth. And Nietzsche gets his 43rd. And I got to say, Martin Nietzsche is fitting naturally well with Colorado. And, no wonder he's done bridge deals in the last few years of his contracts. I really think Nietzsche is a very spottified playmaker, but he needs to improve defensively. He's a liability on defense, but he's a very sharp, quick thinker out there. And Romanov, he gets one right there. And Zizekas gets a third assist of the season, and Holmstrom gets a 14th. And then another one by Holmstrom. And Islanders win 5-2. And I got to say, very impressive. Beating Carolina and Colorado, the two teams that were part of a mega blockbuster trade just past Friday. Very impressive here. Very impressive here that the New York Islanders, they're back in the race. Patrick Roy's loving life. And it's wild. I mean, these standings are just plainly wild. And they beat Carolina and Colorado. That is impressive right there for the New York Islanders. Give yourself an applause. What a great matchup for this. 5 in a row for the Islanders. Now you've got the Capitals against the Calgary Flames and 3-1 Caps. And they are chugging along. Pierre-Luc Dubois gets his 11th. And Dylan Strome, he is become this playmaking assassin. I mean, you remember he was like the third overall pick in the 2015 draft almost 10 years ago, right behind Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel. And he struggled with Arizona trying to find his place. Couldn't find anything in Chicago. And then finally, in his third try, the third time is the charm, he is electrifying. And speaking of electrifying, Jacob Chekrin, he is going to get paid as well. We also saw Logan Thompson getting a 6-year contract extension. Very good, very damn good. And expect Jacob Chekrin getting a 6 to 8 year contract extension by the Washington Capitals. And here's another thriller last night. What a thriller between Dallas and Vegas in overtime. It was back and forth, back and forth. Eichel, Maverick Bork, Hurdle, Pavel Dorovici, and White Johnson. White Johnson getting a hat trick in overtime. Very good indeed. 20 seconds in, and Dallas Stars, they're going to be playing catch up against Winnipeg. They are very close. And then guess who's creeping up in the standings and creeping up to the wild card spot? Anaheim 6-4. Anaheim, they picking up the slack. I say Anaheim is a potential disruptor. They are a team that is looking to gain momentum and get on top of the standings. They're in the middle of the pack, but they're close. You better be careful to some of those teams in the NHL in the Western Conference. You better be careful. Anaheim is a dangerous team right now. They're close. They're lurking. They're creeping. And we're going to go to the standings right now. And I got to say, Anaheim is about 7 points behind Calgary for a final wild card spot. They are six behind Vancouver, 2 behind St. Louis, 1 behind Utah. They're close. They are chomping, they're biting at the ankle bits here, guys. They are chomping at the bit close. Dallas, they are about 8 points behind Winnipeg. Winnipeg won that. And Minnesota, I mean, I got a feeling Minnesota is going to drop. Since Kirill Kaprizov is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. That is my feeling. I just got a feeling Minnesota, with their LTIR limitations and the salary cap, I just got a feeling that Minnesota is going to have a cold streak, and then Colorado is going to pop right back into the top 3 in the Central Division. And looking up right here, and I'll tell you, the East is getting very tight and close. Boston's got 56, Tampa Bay's got 55, Columbus has got 55. Detroit's 53. Montreal 53. 52 for the Rangers, including the Flyers. The Penguins at 48. Islanders 51. And the Sabres at 43. I mean, Buffalo, I don't know what is going on with you guys, but you guys got to get it together here. And speaking of getting together, I mean, how crazy is that? Boston and Ottawa are 56 points each. And it's just so simultaneously close. Washington is ahead of Toronto by 9 points. Impressive indeed. Impressive indeed. And I mean, this is going to come down to the wire. And I spoke to several people in the league. They said that expect this NHL trade deadline this year to be a DUD dud. It's not going to be full studs. It's going to be dud because the East is so competitive. They don't know if they can pull the trigger and mess around with roster tinkering. Each of these teams have the momentum. I guarantee you, like almost every team in the Eastern Conference has the momentum right now. We're talking from the top team in the East to the Islanders where they're at right now. Pittsburgh Penguins, I got a feeling this team is not getting to the point, and I think the Penguins are going to be selling off. But this team is going to be a long rebuilding team right now. And speaking of trade rumors, Crosby, he's not going to go anywhere. I said this yesterday. Sidney Crosby is going to be a minority partner stake of the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's going to buy 5% of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he's going to be a control interest partner in the organization. The other 10% will go to a local ownership group. And I wonder if Mary Lemieux wants to buy some of his shares back. And I'll say this: Fenway Sports and Entertainment is a joke of a hockey ownership group. I mean, listen, John Henry, he's done well with the Red Sox. He's done well with the Liverpool soccer team and some turnarounds. But the hockey, I mean, it's such a disappointment. I mean, the Penguins, they made some horrendous deals trying to stay relevant and contending over the years. They just make these trades and, they sacrifice the future to stay relevant of contending. And it really hurt. It all started when they got rid of Fleury in the expansion draft about 8 years ago. It really still hurts the Pittsburgh Penguins to this day. None of the goalies, Tristan Jarry, Matt Murray, those guys are out of the league now. What the hell, Pittsburgh? You could have had Flower for an entire generational career, and you gave him up to Vegas, and he goes to the Cup Finals in his first year in Vegas, and Vegas' inaugural season. Come on, people. What a mistake that is, people. That is a mistake right there. That is a goddamn mistake right there. Now let's get to Mika Rantanen sweepstakes. Yeah, Mika Rantanen, that guy has got all like a hot commodity free agent for this upcoming off season. He is looking good. He's got a +2 with Carolina right now. He's got 2 games played under his belt. He's got 40 assists, 65 points. Now the question is, who will get him? Chicago owns half of his salary right now. He wanted a discount from Colorado, but Colorado was like, no, I don't think this is a smart opportunity idea right now. Let's basically get a contract. I mean, 14 million is insanely deep. I mean, Draisaitl, McDavid, and Austin Matthews. I mean, Rantanen's got all the talent in the world. I mean, 105 points 2 years ago. Last year, 104 points. But is he really worth that? I mean, I'm scared of spending money on a high-profile free agent. If I was a team that has a Connor Bedard or whoever is a young commodity in the NHL who's young and fresh and that needs to take it to the next level, like if I was Chicago and I got my third overall pick back, I said this yesterday, Mika Rantanen definitely is a huge fit, perfect fit for the Chicago Blackhawks. He's a perfect fit. Have him and Bedard together, and oh boy, it's like watching Kane and Taves back, but is it really a good idea? That is the other question, though. I mean, Mitch Marner's available. I mean, we've been hearing Mitch Marner's name for quite a while. Utah's creeping up again. Vancouver. I mean, could you imagine if they trade JT Miller for Mitch Marner? I mean, that could be a one for one possibility if Toronto is willing to trade Marner to Vancouver. But I mean, Toronto loves the guy. Toronto loves Mitch Marner. He's a local. He's a bona fide superstar. And he's got some good numbers right here, people. He's got some good numbers right here. And Mitch Marner, he's got $10.9 million cap hit. And he's going to be UFA at the end of the season. And this is going to be a a conjoined situation. And I got to say, what if JT Miller gets traded for Mitch Marner? That would be a good deal, but the contract term is still suspect right here. JT Miller, though, what and he's got that media pressure scrutiny in Vancouver right now. He's got the controversy around him. Well, let's see what his cap hit is. The cap hit, I would be I would love to get if I was Toronto, like I would love to do a one for one, but I don't know if JT Miller's interested. He's got an $8 million cap hit that he becomes a UFA in 5 years. Who is willing to take JT Miller's contract for the next 5 years? I mean, I don't know if I think I'm going to say this: Toronto is out of the question. You know, I think Mitch Marner is going to go possibly. Here's my teams I see Marner going to. Utah, Chicago are the two teams. And if Toronto's willing to find a wiggle room to get him a contract extension, he stays in Toronto. But Mitch Marner is a guy I see going to, Chicago. I mean, him and Bedard are a good 1-2 punch. But JT Miller, though, and I remember hearing something that JT Miller does not want to play in Canada anymore. And I feel JT Miller could absolutely play, in Salt Lake City. He can go to Utah. He's a good fit for Utah. And also, I like to see JT going somewhere east, maybe not Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, maybe Columbus. I mean, Columbus has been playing well. They got some cap space. And I think JT Miller would play very well back in his home state of Ohio. And speaking of speculations, we've been hearing Evan Bouchard is looking for a new contract for the Edmonton Oilers. And right now, he's looking at $9 to $10 million a year. And we got a salary cap issue. We got 9 million of new cap coming. And last year, Evan Bouchard was lights out. He was a point per game, 18 goals, 64 assists, 82 points in 81 games. And this season so far, he's been a plus 16. He's got 37 points in 50 games so far. And I'm going to be the guy who's going to speculate this, but I mean, he's worth the money. He is definitely worth the money. He's learned a lot from Duncan Keith when he was with Edmonton for a short period of time. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a good deal, and I really think it was a good deal all around. All around good deal. And I feel that Evan Bouchard definitely deserves that pay raise. He's definitely earned that pay raise. That man is going to be a $9 to $10 million. I mean, can they got to budget and figure it out, guys. They've got to figure it out. And speaking of Vancouver, Quinn Hughes, I think he's done in Vancouver. He's got 2 years left of his contract. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. I mean, you're going to lose Elias Pettersson, and you're going to definitely lose JT Miller. You're good. Vancouver is in a dire, dire situation right here. They are in a dire situation, and I believe there's no way that Quinn Hughes stays in Vancouver. He's gonna go. He's gonna go play with his brothers in New Jersey. I said it yesterday. He's definitely gonna go back to New Jersey next year. And Carolina, though, going back to them, they are like, okay, do you think we're healthy enough? And do we think we're gonna expect an upgrade? I don't think they're gonna upgrade. I think they're restricted. I think they made that move offensively. I see Carolina making a deep playoff run though still. I think they can make it to the cup finals, but the only thing they got to be in the mess is that can they stay healthy? They got to stay healthy for the rest of the season. I mean, the Four Nations Cup is coming up. Some of their guys going to get some good rest. I believe it's going to be a good situation for Carolina get the rest they need. All right. And I got to say, Dallas, I mean, I don't think they're going to get Zach Jones in the middle of the season. I believe it's going to be an off-season deal. And I'm going to believe this. I think Dallas, if they can creep up on Winnipeg and they can make a move or two, someone from the Eastern Conference, that right there is going to be a game changer. And it's no surprise. I believe that we're going to see Dallas contending for the Stanley Cup. And don't forget, Winnipeg is going to be a feisty opponent if they play them in the second round of the playoffs. And it's going to be a conference, like a 6-7 game series if this happens. It's going to happen. But expect the unexpected. And I'm believing that this will happen. This is going to go to 6 or 7 games if Dallas plays Winnipeg in the second round. Yeah. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for 2 Minutes in the Box with Gordo. We'll be back here tomorrow with a new episode and with all the news updates and the standings and the rumor mill. Have a great day, everyone, and God bless.